My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. And to read my writing and to see my latest CNN appearances and my MSNBC appearances, you can go to hagoodman.com. WikiLeaks 17 is out. And to give you some context into WikiLeaks 17 and all the WikiLeaks revelations, media, by and large, media beholden to Hillary Clinton. So we know that Chuck Todd hosted dinners for dinner for John Podesta. We know John Podesta hosted a dinner for a great number of journalists and pundits who appear on CNN, MSNBC, ABC. Basically, the media, in addition to New York Times journalists, Politico journalists, and other journalists, giving John Podesta and the Clinton campaign articles to edit. In addition to the revelation that we know regarding Hillary Clinton sending a sensitive document that almost certainly was classified because it stated information from Western intelligence sources, U.S. intelligence sources. That's in one WikiLeaks email. Another WikiLeaks email talks about, of course, her Wall Street speech transcripts, where she says she had a public and private face. The reason this is important, and the New York Times, of course, or the Washington Post didn't pick up on this, is because she's opposed to the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which we know she will push because she pushed for it 45 times prior, according to CNN. She's also opposed to a great number of American soldiers being sent back, but she has a public and private face. So we don't know if she really means that they won't be sent back to the Middle East, because she wants regime change in Syria. So all of these issues, if you connect the dots, very simple connections, not tinfoil, Hillary supporters. We also know in one email, I mean, we can go on forever, the revelations, if you looked at them and paid attention to them, you would know that it would sink any other campaign. One of the revelations is a top Clinton Foundation official saying that there's 500 conflicts of interest between Bill Clinton and the Clinton Foundation, and that Bill Clinton is actually paid by 3 Clinton Global Initiative sponsors. Then we know of the pay for play scheme, the clear example of quid pro quo between the Moroccan government and the Clinton Foundation. Do you think the Washington Post and New York Times cares about this? This is actual foul play, corruption within the United States government. Collusion with the media that's supposed to be protecting us from politicians who will do anything, who will go ahead and take money from foreign governments and then grant them access. This is what the New York Times, for example, just about yesterday, came out with. The 281 people, places, and things Donald Trump has insulted on Twitter. So I just went, and I didn't even give you an entire list of all the WikiLeaks revelations. And of course I'm missing a bunch, to my amazing subscribers, please list the WikiLeaks revelations that are far more relevant than the 281 people, places, and things Donald Trump has insulted on Twitter. They're focused on Donald Trump insulting people. Progressives, independents, conservatives who are opposed to Hillary Clinton presidency are focused on her Iraq vote, neoconservatives voting and fundraising for Hillary Clinton, Bush's neocons, okay? The fact that she wants regime change in Syria but has no post-Assad plan. All the people, all the comedians who are poking fun at Trump and saying, oh, this guy's a buffoon. He might be a buffoon, that's true. But he doesn't want regime change in Syria. I'm voting for Dr. Jill Stein. Dr. Jill Stein does not want regime change in Syria. Neither does Tulsi Gabbard or Bernie Sanders. The reason is because we had that in Iraq and Afghanistan and Libya, and it didn't work. That's far more important than the people at 281 people, places, and things Donald Trump insulted on Twitter. Far more important. We have 5,000 soldiers right now in Iraq, 8,000 still in Afghanistan. We have hundreds and hundreds of soldiers in Syria. The next president will decide on whether or not to send more Americans to the Middle East. I will read you a couple WikiLeaks emails from WikiLeaks 17 right now showing massive collusion. This is also very important because if the New York Times actually did its job, or the Washington Post actually did its job, there would be outrage that journalists and pundits are working alongside the Clinton campaign, because there should be some kind of separation. You can't give as a journalist. You can't give, and this is several journalists, not just the guy from Politico. There was a Bloomberg, there was a New York Times, a couple New York Times journalists sending Podesta articles to edit. Okay, I'll give you one from Donna Brazil. So this is more evidence that Donna Brazil was working for the Clinton campaign, even when she quote unquote wasn't. This is from Podesta to Brazil. We are pushing back on this, saying it's not true. Not that it will do any good since they love this story. Likely to add, but not subtract, folks. And then Donna Brazil wrote this. See below, RT loved this story, sent from Donna's iPad. So this is an email from a CNN producer that Donna Brazil sent to Podesta. Okay. So she was working for the Clinton campaign all along. Hey, Donna, I spoke with you earlier. I hope you're warming up. We're going to change the topic tonight and focus on this report out of Politico that the Clinton campaign is looking at a possible shakeup. I just wanted to get your thoughts. Do you think this is a sign the campaign is in trouble? You'll be on with Donna Bash and Matthew Dowd, who I have to call, but I suspect he'll say it is a sign. I just want to see if you think it is or not. So, and then Donna Brazil forwards the email to Podesta. Donna Brazil was supposed to be an analyst, supposed to, even to this point, be impartial. Of course, we know there's one email that states, well, not only that she gave the debate question, but that she really didn't like the Sanders campaign. But then there's another. So there's a Democratic strategist who emails John Podesta. This is CNN and bedwetting. So the mainstream media, when you talk about shaping public opinion, it's very dangerous when American media shapes public opinion and American media is literally, well, figuratively in bed with Hillary. When you're shaping U.S. public opinion and you're actually going to dinner parties with the Clinton campaign, it's a big problem. Not only is it a conflict of interest, but it's completely unethical because you have neoconservatives advising Hillary Clinton who want more conflict or to send more Americans back to the same conflicts. This is why people do not vote. If this is why progressives do not vote for Hillary Clinton, because not only will she not break up banks like Bernie and Jill or reinstate Glass-Steagall, but she is very militant and a hawk. And that's something that progressives do not want. But I'll read you this. This is CNN and bedwetting. This is a Democratic strategist telling John Podesta exactly what you and I already know. HRC's appearance on CNN was awful. She made statements that were untrue. So even the campaign or people associated with the campaign know she lies all the time. And appeared legalistic, evasive, and programmed, and gave the worst possible answer on the trust issue, when there were multiple possible answers that were all better. Now, this is very interesting. And when I see Dan, Nate Silver, and various other insider pundits saying what they are saying, I have been through enough rodeos to know that thoughts are being planted from the Obama, Clinton, consultant class. I will leave you with this statement from a Democratic strategist to Podesta. So when you look at 538 and all the poll-driven analysis and all the discussion of polls and all the discussion of how, certain polling experts are God, I see Dan, Nate Silver, and other various insider pundits saying what they are saying. I have been to enough rodeos to know that thoughts are being planted from the Obama-Clinton consultant class. The Obama-Clinton consultant class. is not the Democratic Party we used to know. This is a party where Terry McAuliffe is giving the wife of an FBI agent $500,000. And then that FBI agent is eventually investigating Hillary Clinton. And we're led to believe that the $500,000 for her campaign did not influence the FBI agent. Of course it did. Of course it did. Give me your thoughts below. We can go through a whole number of scandals right now, Clinton Foundation, everything, but the media is completely beholden to Hillary Clinton, and they will eventually turn on Hillary Clinton. But just remember the writers, remember the journalists, remember the pundits who sold their soul to Hillary when it was convenient to do so. And don't ever, ever, ever let them pivot and say, well, you know, I defended WikiLeaks and I went ahead and I was critical of Hillary, because we know that they were in on the entire charade. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so much for listening.